So welcome back to another rebuild here on NBA 2K24 Next Gen. In today's video, we are back with another episode of our prospect rebuild series, and today it's Rob Dillingham to the Utah Jazz. The Jazz are in a very interesting point in their rebuild right now. By no means are they a competitive team. They have a very big decision to make this offseason with Lauri Markkanen, but I think Rob Dillingham would fit this team very, very well and really pair up very well in the backcourt next to Keyonte George. Now, this is a Jazz team that is really looking for an identity. Rob Dillingham can kind of be one of the key kind of focal points moving forward into what will likely be a very lengthy rebuild. We'll talk a little bit more about how I think Dillingham fits with this team. I'll let you know right off the rip if he falls to number 10 and the Jazz are actually able to scoop him up. I'd be a little surprised. I think it's more likely he maybe goes in the top 8. But we did not have him projected in the top 8 in our prospect rebuild predictions, whatever you want to call it so far. So saw a couple people recommending this. I know we'll probably only have a few more prospect rebuilds to go prior to the draft. So of course, let me know any other video ideas down below in the comments section. I'm excited about this one today. Let's get into it. So Rob Dillingham is one of those Kentucky guards that feels like he's just going to be good in the league. It feels like every single time a guard comes out of Kentucky and is in the lottery, they end up being a really impactful NBA player. And it would not surprise me if Rob Dillingham was another one of those guys. So, certainly has his weaknesses, but also certainly has a lot of strengths that NBA scouts are going to like and really going to enjoy. He's a good ball handler. He typically makes the right decision. I know sometimes maybe his defense and his finishing is seen as a bit of a weakness, but those are things that can be cleaned up in the NBA. So I'm high on Rob Dillingham. I think he'd be a really nice piece for the Jazz to have. And we're going to go ahead and talk about this roster. But more importantly, here with the Utah Jazz, they have 2 first-round picks. They have number 10 overall, and I think it's like 28, 29, something like that. And then they have the number 2 overall pick in round number 2. So I actually went ahead and took 3 prospects in this draft. I don't know if we're going to keep all of them, but we're going to go ahead and sign our guys. So Dillingham's a 78 overall. Tyler Smith, who we took at 29, maybe slid a little bit down the board. He's a 74 overall. We're going to sign him. And then Ryan Dunn, who's a 72 overall, is sitting here as well. So 3, really young players that can all be kind of impact guys on this team on day one. So I'm very excited about this. Obviously, this is Rob Dillingham's rebuild, so we're going to be very much focused on him today. So let's go ahead and talk about this. Whoops, wrong button. Let's go ahead and talk about this Jazz roster. As I mentioned, they are in an interesting position because I think Lauri Markkanen is a very, very strong candidate and very strong name here that's going to be popping up quite a bit this offseason. Though his name came up at the deadline with a few different teams. I like his fit a lot with the Oklahoma City Thunder. I think the Heat will probably give him a look. He's a guy that's really, really good. He's 26, 27 years old. Maybe doesn't necessarily fit the timeline of Utah. We know that contract's going to be up as well. I would not be surprised if they moved him because he clearly is the best player on this team right now. But let's go over the entire team. Keyonte George, 20 years old, 6'4", definitely somebody I'd like to continue to build around here today. There is a decent amount of guard depth on this team right now, so whether I'm playing George at the 1, at the 2, I like him and Dillingham in the backcourt quite a bit. Obviously, we just talked about Rob Dillingham, all of his strengths, all of his weaknesses, and again, it's one of those things where everybody looks back on it and it is like, hey, how the hell did so many different teams miss out on this guy? But every single time one of these guys from Kentucky goes to like mid-late lottery and then turns into just an absolute stud in the league, we all act surprised. And if Dillingham does it again, it wouldn't shock me, to be quite honest with you. Chris Dunn is here. He's 30 years old, obviously defensive specialist, probably on his way out, especially with the Dillingham draft pick. Here, Lewis Jr., who's 23, probably not going to see a lot of minutes here for me today, but again, maybe a little bit of potential there. Shooting guard spot, Colin Sexton was one of the kind of big pieces in the deal with the Cleveland Cavaliers when they obviously went ahead and acquired Donovan Mitchell a little while ago, and he's only 25. He's still a solid enough player. I just don't know from a ceiling perspective if I'd prefer him over Dillingham or Keyonte George. So I'm not saying I'm just going to trade away Colin Sexton because I do think he's a good player, but it also wouldn't surprise me if the Utah Jazz did look to move him at some point in time. Jordan Clarkson can kind of say the same thing. His reasoning might be a little bit more age than anything. I think he could help a lot of different contending teams. I believe a 2-time Sixth Man of the Year, but he is a good player. And honestly, I was surprised when they really didn't even kind of entertain maybe moving him at the deadline, but I'd like to move him here today. Taylor Horton-Tucker, I'm not high on. I never really have been. He was a former untouchable player for the Los Angeles Lakers, if you guys remember that. And then we obviously just went ahead and drafted Ryan Dunn as well. So we've added a lot of names into this backcourt mix here. Certainly going to go ahead and kind of get the most out of these guys. Whether I'm trading guys, keeping guys, whatever it may be, we'll sort it out. We discussed Lauri Markkanen quite a bit. I fully expect him to be moved, unless the Jazz are going to actually try to compete. I don't really think it makes a lot of sense to keep Lauri Markkanen. I mean, if you want him to be the face of your franchise, and maybe you do, I guess you maybe try to sign him to a contract extension, but he just had a really good season, and there's going to be a lot of different teams kind of calling about him, wanting to trade for him, give him that extension. I would personally try to take advantage of that. That's just something I would do. Lauri Markkanen has had an up and down career, and obviously his value is very, very high right now. Tyler Smith, we also just drafted later in the first round, number 29 overall. I'm very excited to see how he kind of fits on this team. I don't expect him to be a star with this group today in a 3-year rebuild, but certainly a serviceable enough kind of role player for us. Bryce Sensabaugh is only 20, another guy I'd like to get minutes to. Very well may have just drafted a guy who would be playing ahead of him in Tyler Smith, but we'll figure it out. Power forward spot, Taylor Hendricks, who was number 9 overall last year, correct? Yes, he was number 9 overall. I want to expose him to a larger role on this team. He's only 20 years old. Again, I think there's quite a bit of potential there. Darius Baisley, Lucas Emanich, I'm not really high on either of these guys, so just rotation pieces at best. And then the center spot, John Collins is a name who feels like every single point in time ever is always on the trade block. First season here with Utah wasn't fantastic by any means. I also don't really think he's a center. I think he's more of a 4, but I'd like to move on from John Collins. Walker Kessler, I'm a big fan of. Good defensive center, was a piece they got in the Rudy Gobert trade, and he's only 22, so I want to keep building around him. And then Yurts Finn and Kenny Lofton Jr., probably not going to be a ton for me today. So that's the team. They're obviously bad. They obviously are not trying to win basketball games right now. They do have a decent amount of draft capital moving forward. We're just really going to have to play our cards right, take advantage of that. So Kessler obviously coming back on the 2-year team option, qualifying offers. Not a chance in hell am I giving Kira Lewis Jr. $10+ million in a qualifying offer. I don't even know why the game suggests that I do that, but that is obviously not going to be happening. So here in free agency, Kira Lewis Jr. appears to be our only guy. Now, we have some big decisions to make here in a 3-year rebuild. The way I go about a 3 versus a 5-year rebuild would be very different. And for those of you asking, well, why aren't you just doing a 5-year rebuild? They're coming after the draft. I promise you, they will be here. I get it. So I don't know if I'm keeping Markkanen. I don't know if I'm going to trade him. Obviously, if I keep him, he's going to be re-signed next offseason, but I'm certainly not going to just ignore some of the offers we may get. But I do want to look for at least one kind of big trade right now. I'm not really sure why the Miami Heat are offering me this trade, but I'm very, very tempted to take it. Now, obviously, we put up John Collins, Colin Sexton in the 2025 first. That pick's from the Cleveland Cavaliers. And Bam Adebayo and Duncan Robinson is a trade offer here from the Miami Heat. Now, I wasn't looking to, add a center, but when one this good, like Bam Adebayo, gets offered to me, it's very hard to say no. So I'll likely be taking this. I did consider this trade with the New York Knicks just because I do think power forward, a guy like Julius Randle, could be really beneficial to this team. We also do get Mitchell Robinson in this deal, but it's really hard for me to say no to Bam Adebayo, right? One of the best defensive players in the league. I still don't think gets enough credit for just how good he is. And this is hard to pass up, but it is going to hinder the development of Walker Kessler. That's where I'm a little bit kind of torn because there's not don't get me wrong, Julius Randle can be very good. There is still not a world out there where I'm ever taking him over Bam Adebayo, but we also do get Robinson. I'm torn. I really am. I think I'm actually kind of talking myself more into this Knicks one because I am big on Walker Kessler. He's never going to be probably anywhere near Bam is right now. But I want to get him minutes. I want to develop him. So I thought I was taking the Heat offer. I'm taking the Knicks offer. Again, maybe some of you will say I'm a Hall of Fame idiot for that, but on top of the fact that Bam Adebayo is not a position of need right now, again, you can have your opinion on that. I also have gotten him kind of recently. So I'm going with this one. Not the trade I thought I was going to take. It's the one we're going to end up with, though. And maybe some of you will call me an absolute idiot for that. And for that, I wouldn't really blame you. But it's the deal we're going with. We now have an upgrade at the backup center spot here with Robinson and obviously a strong upgrade at the power forward spot. And I know I also gave a whole speech about how I want Hendricks to get more minutes, and he will be getting more minutes, just not in a starting role. So wasn't really expecting that to be the case, but the trade came up, and I'm hoping I don't regret not taking on Bam in maybe a year or two. A deal here with the Washington Wizards is going to see us land Corey Kispert. We're going to make a swap, basically, of our sixth man shooting guard, whatever the hell you want to call it here. So Clarkson going to DC. Why the Wizards have any interest in him, I have really no idea. But we're getting 7 years younger here, and we're keeping the same overall with Kispert, who's also making a decent amount, or a decent less amount of money. So I'm excited on Kispert. I think his ceiling is pretty good. Ultimately, I think if he was in a little bit of a bigger role, he'd be even better. But that is a deal we made. A few more trades. And then our final trade before we sim all the way up to season 1 is going to come with the Sacramento Kings. Look, Bryce Sensabaugh, I think, could have been an impactful player with this team. And although he has some team control left, I'm looking for a backup point guard. And I actually like Davion Mitchell's game quite a bit. He is now 25 years old, maybe not getting the exact role he was hoping in Sacramento. So he's going to come here and be my new backup point guard. And I'm pretty much fine with that. I think I'd hang on to Sensabaugh if I didn't draft Tyler Smith this year, but he's here. He's likely going to be playing behind Markkanen the rest of this video. So kind of the odd man out, unfortunately. So Davion Mitchell, welcome to the team. A little bit of a new opportunity for him. Excited to see what he can do here for us. So now the one thing is, what am I going to do with Chris Duarte? I thought I was actually done, but Duarte is going to be expiring, and thank you very much, Philadelphia. All right, we're all set. I'll see you guys at the start of year number 1. Ready to kick off our first full season here in Utah. We had a pretty interesting offseason. We decided to go ahead and make some pretty big moves that are going to change and kind of affect this team for the entirety of this rebuild. So backcourt, I like it a lot. Rob Dillingham, Keontae George, maybe a little bit undersized at 6'1" and 6'4", but I'm fine with it. I'm totally am. So it's also, I just want to put it out there, it's not a guarantee both of these guys are starting throughout the video. I know it's a Rob Dillingham rebuild, but if you guys have watched my other prospect rebuilds, you're very much aware that the guys do not always start. But here, today in Utah, he gets the opportunity. So excited to see what these guys can do. We decided to make the big decision to hang on to Lauri Markkanen, meaning we are going to commit to him this offseason with a very hefty contract extension. Him and Julius Randle will likely both require one of those. And again, hoping Randle doesn't prove me wrong, because we decided to choose him and Mitchell Robinson over Bam Adebayo. So that was a big decision. Walker Kessler here at our starting center. Bench unit. Corey Kispert's going to be my 6th man here. You got Mitchell Robinson, who we brought in. Going to be a really solid backup center option. Taylor Hendricks seeing 15 minutes a night. Excited to see how much his game can kind of develop. Davion Mitchell, who we made the big trade for, with the Sacramento Kings. And then Tyler Smith rounding it out. So overall wise, not a bad team. I think there is a relatively high ceiling on a lot of these players here. It's just whether or not that full ceiling kind of hits before we have to make a decision to upgrade. So I'm happy. I think Will Hardy's a really solid head coach, so excited to see what he can do with this team. And I will see you guys at the end of year number 1. I'm going to be very interested to see one thing, and that one thing is going to be the draft lottery. We won only 35 games this season, meaning we're obviously not a playoff team, and there's a 99% chance we're not even a play-in team. So I checked our first-round picks actually to Oklahoma City right now. It is top 10 protected this year, top 8 protected next year. So I don't know if it'll be top 10 this year. I'm kind of hoping it is, though. Luka's your MVP. Rob, whoa, This is what I was looking for. We give him a starting role with big minutes on a team that's not necessarily, trying to win a bunch of things right now, and good things happen. 20, not a lot of rebounds at all, but 5.5 assists. I will certainly live with that. About 45.5% from the field, 91.5% from the free throw line is fantastic. Then about 37.5% from 3. So all things considered, for a 6'1" rookie, that is a beautiful rookie season. Reserved Rookie of the Year. Draymond Green, 6th man of the year. Wemby is your D-Boy. TJD, most improved. Luka, Clutch Player of the Year. Nick Nurse, 63 wins there in Philadelphia. Maybe it's the year they get out of round 2. All right, here goes nothing. Standings-wise, I am assuming we completely missed everything, and we did. We were the 14 seed here in the West, and on all, maybe not. Well, no, it should be. Our pick should be at number 7 or 8, something like that. So, hoping, anyways, that that is the case, because I would like to have my draft pick. Here are the numbers all across the board. Rob Dillingham, as a rookie, led us in scoring. Again, fantastic. There's something about these Kentucky guards, man. I am telling you, they always just end up being really good in the NBA. Lauri Markkanen and Julius Randle. So, we basically had 3 guys at 20-plus points per game. So, all things considered, that's not terrible. Pretty solid season out of Keontae George. Looked like he was improving basically everywhere. So I can honestly live with that. Taylor Hendricks, Tyler Smith, Kessler, Kispert, Robinson, and then Davion Mitchell. Rebounds per game, we were led by Kessler, and assists was Dillingham. So the playoffs are not something we're going to be in year 1, but a fantastic season all around from a development standpoint and an outlook perspective kind of going forward. It is a Cavaliers and a Thunder finals. And wow, was that a blown 3-1 lead? It might have been. SGA and the Thunder win it all. SGA wins finals MVP. Okay, LeBron calls it a career. I can't override it. I already did. Cool there. Cool there. Jersey retirements and then draft lottery. This is a big moment for us. I don't know. Is it going to say my picks projected? Okay, so it's projected 7. I'll read it to you right now. Utah's first round pick to Oklahoma City, protected for selections 1 through 10 in 2025, 1 through 8 in 2026. You get it? Okay, good. So unless it falls to 11 or lower, we are going to get our pick back. And oh my God, it's at 3. Okay, the protection's not here in 2K, but that jumped up quite a bit, meaning we're going to have a really, really good draft pick. All right, now I need to go ahead and re-sign my damn coach. Why this game makes it so fucking hard to find your old head coach is annoying. It is. Okay, draft time. Let me get my pick back. Now with the number 3 overall pick, we also have 17 from the Minnesota Timberwolves. That pick is obviously from the Rudy Gobert trade. So 2 picks within the top 17 is certainly not nothing. Now there are a couple different paths, a couple different avenues I can maybe explore here with what I want to do with this pick. I don't think Cooper Flagg is kind of within the realm of possibility. Certainly I could maybe get a package together to trade up to number 1, but I've gotten him quite a bit. I think our best bet right now would maybe be trying to add another player that could be a really impact guy on this team. Now, only problem with that is typically prior to the draft, a lot of guys are on team player options or just expired contracts in general. So I will I guess, entertain maybe the idea of trading somebody. Like if I did Mitchell Robinson and maybe like Tyler, just curious. Like what are my trade offers right now? I'm just curious. Okay. I think there's going to be more after the draft. So the way we're going to go about this is I will select somebody at number 3. Whoa. Okay. Well, that's a surprise. I thought Cooper Fly would be going number 1. He goes number 2 to the Chicago Bulls. Certainly could have maybe moved up and attempted to go ahead and draft him. But no, we're going to take Dylan Harper right here. Again, I'm not sure if Dylan Harper will stay on this team. There's certainly a high possibility he's maybe not on this team. We're going to take him. And then I'm going to do the same thing with Ian Jackson. Both prospects that could be moved. They could stay, be rotation pieces. Who the hell knows? All right, team player options. So Randall declines. That's not a surprise. We're bringing back everybody else here. And then Randall and Markkanen are obviously both going to be free agents, along with Kispert and Davion Mitchell, a nearly $11 million qualifying. That is a lot of money, but hopefully I can get them under that. All right, so we have some money, but we also have to re-sign our own guys. I think the best path here is to just re-sign our guys. I mean, I don't want to lose out on one of Markkanen or Randall, so I am just going to pay them both, and then hopefully we're basically good at that point. Kispert wants about $13.5 million annually. That's fine, and then I will try to re-sign Davion Mitchell as well. I'm hoping he's not asking for a shit ton of money. That's actually better than I thought. All right, that's cool with me. We bring back all 4 of those guys again. Maybe could have tried to spend a little bit of money on one of the other major free agents. I don't know if it would have been Mitchell or Tatum or whoever the hell it would have been, but no. We decided to do this. Now we have a couple different options if we want to trade for another star. Oh my God. Oh my God. What the fuck just happened? I'm like at a loss for words. Oh wow. Okay. Well, we've added Devin Booker. We just traded basically everybody on our bench and anybody that could have been a possible, role player, but we got Devin Booker. I didn't think it was possible to trade for Devin Booker. I'm not going to lie to you. I tried to offer a similar package for Donovan Mitchell, and Cleveland was not taking it. I thought it would be funny to bring Mitchell back. No, we just landed ourselves Devin Booker. I am surprised would be, the understatement of the century. I actually cannot believe that just happened. But it did, and now we need to find ourselves a new backup center, a new backup small forward. Wow, that was a really big surprise and one that I'm honestly kind of happy with. All right, let's see who I'm trying to sign here. I think Terrence Mann would be a fine kind of backup signing. I know he's going to probably have to play a little undersized 3, but you know what? From an age perspective, it makes a little sense. I'm still shocked, honestly. Again, I'm fully aware that we kind of just depleted our bench unit a little bit, but more than anything, I can't believe that trade actually just went through. And then Billy Hernangomez, I actually like him on a 2-year deal. Actually not a bad player. The age is still decent, so that's fine. Devin Booker is now a Utah Jazz. Who else saw that coming? Not me. To be completely honest with you, I'm still kind of at a loss for words. I've tried many, many times to trade for players as good as Devin Booker, and it's just never happened. I don't really know why it is today, but I gave up both the guys I drafted. You guys saw the trade, basically, and if you didn't, just go back and pause it. I didn't give up a single draft pick, and it's insane. I guess technically you can say I gave up the number, whatever it was, 3 overall pick. But just, wow, I'm happy, but I'm just confused. Dillingham, Devin Booker, Lauri Markkanen, Julius Randle, Walker Kessler, really talented 1 through 5. Fully expect this to be a playoff kind of starting 5 bench unit. Keontae George, who I think really could have taken another step this season, unfortunately, is going to see his role diminish, but we got Devin Booker. I'm not exactly upset about it. Terrence Mann, who we ended up signing out of free agency, going to be my backup small forward. Still got to, actually, I want to swap these two. I want to give a few more minutes to Hendricks. Hendricks and Mann, you got Davion Mitchell, and then Billy Hernangomez. So a very surprising offseason, a blockbuster that I did not see coming, but I'll certainly take it. I will see you guys at the end of year number 2. We are back in the playoffs. 54-28 wraps up year number 2 here in Utah. And again, I'm still honestly very surprised. I mean, I'm not surprised at the record. I'm just surprised that Devin Booker is in Utah. Another MVP for Luka. Cooper Flag went number 2 overall. He's your rookie of the year in Chicago. Stephon Katz, you get it. Wemby, your DPOY. Castle also wins most improved. Donovan Mitchell, clutch player of the year. Mark Daigneault, head coach of the Oklahoma City Thunder, is your coach of the year. So where did we fall in the standings? We are the 2 seed here. We are 6 games behind the Thunder, who obviously won it all last year. And if we do match up with them, it won't be till the Western Conference Finals. 49 wins took the Eastern Conference. God, the East is just, oh God. All right, player stats on the year. It was Devin Booker, Julius Randle, Rob Dillingham, Markkanen, George Kessler, Hendricks, Hernangomez, Mann, and then Mitchell. Rebounds per game was Kessler. Rob Dillingham led us in assists once again. So we're facing a play-in team, which is great. That play-in team is the San Antonio Spurs with Nikola Topic, Vassell, Johnson, Sohan, Wemby. They got Suggs coming off the bench. Isaiah Jackson, Ron Holland, very, very talented young group there in San Antonio. I think we do have the better team. Okay, let's just end this series, please. Thank you. New Orleans Pelicans here in round number 2. Dyson Daniels, Herb Jones, Ingram, Zion, Clint Capella. Okay, it's an interesting team there. I think, again, we're probably better. Hopefully we go out and prove that, as we are up 3-1 and we close them out. Now we are taking on the Oklahoma City Thunder. They won it all last year. Anybody surprised OG Anunoby is here? I might just stop mentioning it at this point. I'm getting to the point where every time I see it, it just looks natural because he's on this team every single time I do one of these rebuilds. All right, they're probably better than us. I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, maybe we can get it done. Okay, Devin Booker, Western Conference Finals MVP, and we got the Celtics here in the finals. Another really good team. You're seeing a little bit of regression here for Drew Holiday. Looks like they've lost Al Horford. Basically, basically an entirely new bench here for the Celtics. I mean, this is still a death starting 5, but this bench unit it's pretty bad. I don't know. Can we beat the Celtics? We quickly go up. That's it, right? We're just running the Celtics out of the fucking building. Really? I mean, put up a little fight. God damn. I don't know if that's my Celtics bias, wanting them to win at least a game. But no, they're letting us put up 150 fucking points on them. All right. 3:25 to go here at TD Garden. We are on the verge of a championship right now, and I'm surprised, right? You know, I obviously know the Celtics are very well good, but this is a shocker that we just are about to sweep them. So I guess let's have a quick conversation about this Jazz team. Look, I think the way that the Jazz are kind of going about this rebuild is really good. I understand that, you know, it's hard to go through a rebuild, and nobody likes to be patient. Nobody likes to take the amount of time that it typically takes to get these things going. But I think Utah has had an underrated core for a little while now. And again, I know that core might take a little bit of a bump if Lauri Markkanen is moved. But I am fully of the belief that no matter who, you know, they move on from, or who they trade Lauri Markkanen to, they're going to get a good package in return. I think they're going to get at least 2 pretty good draft picks, and I think they'll get at least 1 or 2 really good young players. So, because I do think Markkanen can make a team, you know, push them into that next tier, right? You know, if a Miami Heat adds Lauri Markkanen, I think they're right back up there in terms of being super competitive. And maybe, I think the Heat's a bad example because we see them overachieve from where they are in the standings quite often, but I do think Lauri Markkanen can be a serious game changer for some team. And if, you know, Utah maybe had 1 or 2, Utah maybe had 1 or 2 more guys that they were ready to be competitive with right now, I think hanging on to Lauri Markkanen makes sense. But, you know, a team like Miami, a team like the Oklahoma City Thunder, who certainly is in need of some more size, these are all teams that would really benefit from adding a player of his caliber. So, I also understand the idea of maybe wanting to hang on to him, have him be the face of your team. So excited nonetheless. I'm always excited for the NBA offseason. It's so bad because right now all I want, and again, I'm not trying to get off topic, all I want right now is for my Celtics to win a fucking championship. And they are up 2-0 at the time I'm recording this. And it's certainly possible that they do. But as soon as the season ends, I'm like, God damn it, I miss basketball. But NBA offseason has never, ever once missed in terms of hype and drama and all that stuff. That's why we all love it so much. So that's it for me now. We are getting a championship as we are running the Celtics out of their own building. We made an absolute blockbuster trade last offseason, landing us Devin Booker from the Phoenix Suns, and I was doing all this hype to see him win a Finals MVP, and it goes to fucking Julius Randle. All right, 2K, I'm being actively trolled today, I see. But no, I will obviously still take it. We have a little bit more to go here with one. Oh, wow, Steph Curry called it a career. And did not think Steph and CP3 would be going out in the same season. All right, is that just the current Warriors just all calling it a career? Oh my God. I mean, it's not crazy to think maybe they try to coordinate something with like 2 or 3 of them going out at the same time. All right, let's see what we got here in the lottery. I do not see any Jazz picks. Obviously, our pick is now going to OKC. They're going to have it, which is fine by me. I can live with it. We're good with Will Hardy, obviously. Let's head up to the draft. See, do we have any other picks this year? No, we do not, which is fine. I mean, we're probably just going to trade them anyways. George Dillingham and Hendricks all coming back in their rookie team options. And then Terry Taylor, what? Walker Kessler certainly going to be qualified. So we are not going to really get too fancy this offseason. There's not really a lot that I'm going to be changing about this team. So we're just going to re-sign Walker Kessler. Maybe I have 1 or 2 bench moves to maybe upgrade this team a bit. But other than that, there's really no reason to force anything too crazy. So maybe I upgrade Hernan Gomez. Like, are there any better centers here? De'Ron Sharp. It's a solid enough upgrade for me. Welcome to the team, hopefully. All right. And then maybe I'll glance at a Terrence Mann trade. I mean, I have a few draft picks, but I don't know. I actually have more than a few draft picks. I mean, is there anything out here that's like Kelly Oubre? Like, I mean, he's 1 year older, but I would take Kelly Oubre over Terrence Mann. Ooh, Vince Williams Jr. I like Vince. Ooh, and Dalton. It's Connect, not Knight, but Dalton Connect. I don't know. I mean, unless I just look like shooting guard, small forward, making $10 million. Because I do have all these draft picks, and part of me is like, well, you don't really need to make many changes with the team, but it's kind of boring if you don't. So George is obviously already on our team. Whitmore might not be making enough money. I like Brandon Pajemski. I just don't know if he really fits the backup 3 too well. Bilal Coulibaly, low-key, could be a nice addition to this team. Really good defensive player. So you know what? I actually wouldn't mind, because, I mean, again, what am I going to do? Just relinquish the draft picks? That Lakers pick's actually really valuable. Thank you. All right, Bilal Coulibaly, going to be my new backup small forward. So wasn't up to an 84. Wasn't really a move that was necessary in all honesty, but a move that I'm very happy about. I will see you guys at the start of the third and final regular season. Last year, this team won 54 games, ended up as the 2 seed in the Western Conference, and then had a dominant run all the way to the finals where we swept the super team Celtics. So this is a team that is battle-tested now, although we are still well, we're not that young, but you get what I'm saying. This team is insane, and I love everything about the way this rebuild's gone so far. It is Rob Dillingham at Devin Booker, Lauri Markkanen, Julius Randle, Walker Kessler 1 through 5. No changes in the starting 5. Keontae George will remain my 6th man off the bench. New addition here of Bilal Coulibaly, who I feel like we kind of got for no reason, but we just got him anyways. Taylor Hendricks still here as my backup power forward, then Deron Sharp, who we signed out of free agency. Davion Mitchell rounding out the 10-man rotation, all under head coach Will Hardy. So this is a very good team. I expect to be competitive once again. I'd love to get the 1 seed, but more importantly, I'd love to win another championship. I'll see you guys at the end of the final regular season. After winning a championship last season, we were looking to make a statement here in our final regular season, and we did just that. We go 70-12. It's not the greatest record in the history of the sport, but this was a very fun season. I believe that's 3 straight MVPs for Luka. Cole Carr is your Rookie of the Year. Jaden Hardy in Dallas, 6th Man of the Year. Chet Holmgren is your DPOY. I am surprised to see anybody but Wemby win it because it feels like he wins it every year in these rebuilds. Tyler Smith, Most Improved. I will certainly miss you, old friend. 3rd season, 3rd different team. Very deserving of the award, though, looking at those numbers. Donovan Mitchell, Clutch Player of the Year. Will Hardy does win Coach of the Year. So a fantastic regular season that is hopefully going to lead to a lengthy and very long postseason run. So here, look at the standings. We were just by far the best team. Here are the numbers all across the board. It was Devin Booker. Rob Dillingham has just been an absolute bucket for us so far throughout this rebuild. I mean, he is an absolute star. That's what he is. Julius Randle, Lauri Markkanen, George, Kessler, Hendricks, Coulibaly, Sharp, and then Mitchell. Boards per game led by Kessler. In dishes was Mr. Dillingham at 8.5. All right. First round of the playoffs, the Sacramento Kings. Bruce Brown. Where is De'Aaron? What the fuck? Okay. I'm not really sure what that team is, but I saw 80 overall. Paul George was there, and thanks for coming. Houston Rockets here in the Western semis. Jalen Green, Men Thompson, Ace Bailey. Okay, really, really solid kind of young group they got here in Houston. This team does scare me a little bit. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. I thought they would be higher than a 5 seed. We are currently up 3-1, though, and that is a gentleman's sweep after they win Game 1. Oklahoma City Thunder, it feels inevitable. They might have the best player in the series in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, but I think we are still far and away the better team. So here goes nothing. Can we get by Oklahoma City as we did last year? We're currently 1-1 with them. We go up 2, up 3. Okay, they're fighting back a little bit. I can feel it. I can feel it. Okay, thank God we actually won. It is us and the Indiana Pacers here. They are interesting. Really? Okay. I think this team is relatively beatable. I'm not going to lie to you. We're up 3-1. No. Thank you. All right, Julius Randle, a 2nd straight Finals MVP. I mean, I guess he's kind of showing me that I am not going to regret, passing on a trade for Bam Adebayo instead of landing Mr. Randle. But no, I mean, let's put this in perspective. If I don't make the trade for Julius Randle and Mitchell Robinson, I never probably get Devin Booker because Mitchell Robinson was in that deal for Booker. Right? I don't know. I'm just spitballing. I don't know, man. I'm still surprised as hell with the way this one went. I had this entire idea kind of planned out that Rob Dillingham maybe could have been a really solid 6th man for this team, and then I decided year 1 to start him, and it went really well, and then everything kind of was just up from there. So, this was a fun rebuild. I certainly enjoyed it. I hope you guys did as well. I don't know how many more prospect rebuilds we have, maybe 1 or 2. I know the draft's, June 26th, so we're, 2 weeks away, basically. So we're going to have to kill a lot of dead time in between now and then. But no, this one was an absolute blast. I hope you guys enjoyed as well. Let me know any other video ideas down below in the comment section. As always, thanks. Wait, I'm fucking up my outro. As always, thanks so much for watching. I love you guys. I'll catch you guys all in the next one.